Hello Creekside family, this is Miss Bell, the proud principal of Creekside Elementary. And first of all guys, I just want to tell you how much we have missed your kiddos in our building. And we have worked, including everybody in LISD, have worked diligently overnight. During the day, we have been working to get our buildings ready for our kiddos to come back to school. And we have the best custodial staff that I have ever had on this campus. And just let me tell you a little bit about that. They took all of the furniture out of the classrooms, every little piece. That's never happened here before. So we were so excited when we came in and all the furniture was in the hallway. And they stripped that room, they cleaned the walls, they cleaned it, and then they came back in and they waxed all the floors. And then we've put the necessary furniture back in the classroom for our students to be able to come to school. So we've done a great job as a district and a campus to get our rooms cleaned up and ready and prepared for your child to come back to school. So we're really excited about that. And with that being said, we have had to make some changes this coming year, and per CDC guidelines and our Governor Abbott. And probably you've all heard about the main one, and that's that our fourth graders and fifth graders on this campus it's mandatory, they will have to wear a mask. So let's talk about that for just a second. They have to wear some sort of face covering. So we do have masks that are non-medical, and so you can have any kind of non-medical cloth, and that can be their face mask. I'm going to prefer this year to wear a shield. Your child can wear a shield as well. I prefer to wear the shield because our kiddos, our first graders, everybody can see our face, can see me smile. And that's just what I prefer. If we're teaching in the classroom as instructors and we're teaching someone to read, then they can better see our mouth and how we're sounding out words. So we are going to have some face shields in our school building for our teachers. And students may wear those as well, so it's their preference. However, even though the governor and CDC guidelines did not mandate first, second, and third to wear those masks or shields, I'm recommending, just for safety purposes, that all students on our campus wear those face shields or a mask. It's up to the parent. It's not mandatory, but just for safety issues, I would like for them to do that. Something else that we're going to be doing, we're going to continue instruction just like we have in the past prior to March of 2020. We're going to keep that rigor up, but we're going to go back and we're going to make sure that your kids, our students, are going to fill in those gaps so that we are successful at the end of this year. So we will continue to have small group instruction. During that small group instruction, our students will come to the table about 2 feet apart or so, socially distanced, and they will have on a mask. Each student will have on a mask that comes back to small group instruction with a teacher. So we just want to make sure everything and all the students, adults in this building, are taken care of, and we are making sure that we're wearing our mask or our shield. So the next thing, parents, so far we've talked about the mask, the shield, your preference. It's mandatory for fourth and fifth graders. I'm recommending first, second, and third graders wear a mask or a shield. The other thing is, in order to keep our students safe, we're not going to be able to use the water fountains for them to drink out of. We're going to use them to fill up our water bottles. So what I'm asking you to do, parents, if you could please send a water bottle each day full of water for your student, and we will be able to fill it up throughout the day. But if you could just start us off the day with a fresh water bottle, and it doesn't have to be the store-bought, you can get one that take home, wash it every evening, fill it up, and send it back to school that next day. And make sure you have your student's name on it as well. And the next thing that I know that went out with Dr. Hawkins's his video was that we're going to be a closed campus. So what does closed campus mean for Creekside Elementary? Closed campus for us means that only essential employees or essential parents to meetings may be on campus. We're going to be closed to outside food. We're going to be closed to parents just coming in if a student forgot anything. It's going to be closed campus. We cannot let you go into the classroom or the cafeteria to eat with your child, visit with your child. So it's going to be closed campus for those purposes. So what does a normal day look like for a student at Creekside Elementary? Well, first of all, you need to know that our number one concern, again, is the safety of our students. Number two is the education of our students. Number one, being safety, everywhere your child goes, they will have a seating chart. So we will know where they're sitting at, who they have been around at any point in time, whether it's the cafeteria, if they go to music, if they are in their classroom. We will know who they're seated by. So let's just start with the beginning of the day. As you know, we have two arrival points. We have car riders at the front of the building, and on the cafeteria side of the building, that's where our bus riders will unload. So, beginning of school, another change. In the past, we have allowed our students to be dropped off at 7:15. New to this year, our beginning time that we are going to open the doors to all students is 7:30. Again, new time, change, 7:30, doors will open for both bus students and for car rider students. And at that time, our students will flow through the doors, and we will have a temperature check. And so they'll walk through there, socially distanced, of course, and they'll walk through there, and our students will at that point in time go straight to their classrooms. And so we have two different staircases. Our first, second graders will use our small staircase at the back of another entrance. And I'm going to do a video next week, so please look for that, and I'll show you the way that our first grade students are going to come up the staircase, because I don't like our first graders the first time on campus coming up that big staircase. So I reserve that staircase for all of our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade kids, because by that time they've learned to walk up the stairs appropriately. They can hold on to the rail, and I feel more comfortable with that. But our 1st and 2nd grade little babies, I still want them on the back staircase where it's not as steep of a slope. It does have a landing, and then you go again. But we'll just be looking for that next week, because we're going to send out a video of walking through the front door and where does my first grader go. That will be on Monday for 1st grade. So they walk to the classroom, socially distanced, and we will make sure to have plenty of staff in the hallways, making sure the students are socially distanced, and we will have some little footprints. That's where they need to stand or go to the next mark, so that we are socially distancing. Classrooms. We have worked on these classrooms probably for about a month, and making sure that as soon as we could get in there, we're making sure that our students are socially distanced appropriately, according to CDC. And we feel very comfortable about that with our students, how our teachers have come in. They've set up their classrooms. We set up 2 about 3 weeks ago for model classrooms, so that all the other teachers could come in and look at those models. Now, not everybody's going to have a small horseshoe table, but they may have just like a smaller small group table for students to gather around for small group instruction. But we've tried to make sure that all of the classrooms have the teacher desk that's in there. It may be smaller. We've got our student desk, and we've been able to fit at as most 23 students into a classroom. So we are blessed that we're on the old high school, so we do have large classrooms. That's one thing that we were blessed with. So we'll have a seating chart in there, so your child will be responsible for their personal space, and that way their water bottle will be there. Also, when they walk in, what we've also decided to do as a campus, because when we are teaching in those classrooms, and there are times that we want our students to be able to have cooperative groups, we have provided some type of face mask for those students. So we went ahead and we bought lanyards for every student on this campus. And in that lanyard, it's going to have that student's picture, it's going to have that student's name, and it's going to have a face mask attached to that. So they will always have their own. So if they leave it somewhere, we're going to be able to pick it up and tell who it belongs to so that no one else can get that face mask, but only that child. So we're going to provide that, but that will stay at school. So your mask that you provide for your child that to bring to school, that's fine. We can attach that one and you can send it back home that afternoon, but that will be fine if you want to do that. But I just want you to know when we're using those face masks for cooperative grouping, then we'll have one to provide because safety first. The next thing is lunch. All of our tables in the cafeteria have been socially distanced where students are 6 feet apart, and then we have an even greater distance from classroom to classroom because we're going to work really hard at our students staying with their cohort group, so that means with their homeroom. They'll always remain with their homeroom. And so that means in 1st and 2nd grade, we don't travel and we don't change classes. 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, we do have multiple teachers, but those teachers are going to do the transitions instead of the students so that we are still maintaining that one cohort with a seating chart. And that's going to help us if something were to happen and somebody did test positive, then we can locate that student, who were they around and how much feet apart were they from someone else. So that will definitely help us locate if there becomes an issue. We're keeping our fingers crossed, praying that that does not happen. But when we go to lunch, that's where students are not required to wear a mask. You can't eat lunch with your mask or your face shield on, even though, if you can tell mine, I have dented it up several times, including today. I forget that I have it on and I put my food straight to my mask. Doesn't work. So they do not have to wear a mask, and that's why we have socially distanced them. And right now we can comfortably fit around 85 students in our cafeteria. Again, being an old high school has advantages and disadvantages sometimes, but it has been a great advantage to us this year. If we have all 105 of our students in each grade level show up, then we'll spill over in cafeteria to our art room that's already set up with tables. So we already have a plan for that. We're going to socially distance because classrooms have to be socially distanced as well. And then after that, I'll tell you how important recess is, that every class, 1st grade through 5th grade, will have recess. Now, the changes to recess, which, I think about when I was a child, and now I think some of those games may come back, like kickball and some of those things that we used to play, because we've got to maintain our social distance. But also, like I just told you, for lunches, I've got those kids in cohorts. And so we're all going to go outside to recess at the same time, but it's going to be zoned recess. So teacher A will go to zone A, teacher B will go to zone B, but they will have activities to do. They will have their own recess toys for that classroom, and we're working really hard to have PE kits for each classroom so that when they go outside, this is teacher A's classroom PE kit. This is also their recess kit, so they have things to do and play. It's not just go out and stand around and look at each other. We want them to enjoy their recess because we want them to get that energy out, because we ask a lot of them in the classroom. And so we want them to play hard and enjoy their friends when they go out to recess. Will they have to wear a mask when they go to recess? 4th and 5th grade will have to wear a mask when they go to recess. That's going to be difficult. If we did space out and we did something about 6 feet apart to 8 feet apart and did some type of structured activity, CDC says they can take that mask off, put it in their spot, and then do an activity, and then put it on when they're going to be traveling back into the building. So that is, our 4th and 5th graders will. I want to talk about the recess because I've been asked multiple times, will our students be able to use the equipment that's already on the playground? And yes, they will. A real exposure to COVID, that's 15 minutes in close proximity to another individual without any type of face coverings. So we're going to do our best, 15, probably 12 minutes on the equipment, and then we're going to start hand sanitizing and then walk around, have some kind of structured activity, and then go back into the building. But everybody will have their 30 minutes. but we will use all of our playground equipment. So that was exciting for our teachers to hear as well. Specials, we're going to rotate. Everybody will have, and that's your specials classes. That's when our teacher has conference. That's when our students are going to go to PE. We have enough staff that we're going to have each of the 5 classes will go to a different place each day, with PE for first and second graders predominantly every day. So we still will have specials. We still will have PE, and but it will still remain with that cohort. Now with music, we're going to have some teaching of rhythm and different things like that going on in the music class. If we do decide to sing, we're going to go outside, which is not going to be a huge deal for our music class because we have a door to the exterior that's about 20 feet from the music class. So our students can step out, go under the awning, and sing their little hearts out if we want them to do that day. So it won't be an issue because we have that space. I will tell you what's been our biggest issue for Creekside Elementary has been our restrooms. We went on a hunt for restrooms this summer, and we have found them in like our dressing rooms and different areas. We've had all of those restrooms. If there was a sink needed to be replaced, our custodial staff and maintenance staff done a great job of repairing all of our restroom, putting doors on the stalls, so we are ready to go. So much so that I'll even show you, because our teachers are a little happy we even have a restroom schedule, so that different, like all of second grade, this teacher's going to go to this same restroom every time they go to the restroom, because it keeps the cohort together. And so then we know who's going to this restroom, can have it cleaned if there's an issue. But we have been multiple plans. The other thing that's major, and that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about, because it's always been kind of an ordeal at this campus, being that there's only one way in and one way out, and that's our dismissal. So students can walk in at 7:30, start time for instruction is 8, and dismissal is at 3:45. So that is the last bell for the day, is at 3:45. I want parents to understand we're doing a really good job of keeping our cohort students together. So that's each class, keeping them with as minimum transitions with the whole large group as possible during the day. So I'm not going to have them go to a large group at dismissal time in the gym, in both gyms, or the cafeteria. So our dismissal, if you will please just bear with us until we work out all the kinks, our students are going to be releasing from the cafeteria, from their classrooms. Our students are going to release from the classrooms. So at first and second graders, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we're working on a plan right now that we can type in your numbers, and it's going to display the names in the classrooms, and so we'll know who to take down to car rider at that time. So car riders, buses, that's not going to change. That's going to be easy, getting them lined up in social distance and then taking them out to their buses. Car riders, it takes a little bit for them to walk down the stairs and get outside to the line. So we're working some different plans that hopefully will be ready for you prior to school starting, because we would prefer when prior to school and we'll do another video about this, that if you're going to pick up your child and drop your child off at school, we're going to have a system where we need to see the colors in your car, and maybe even to the point we're going to scan the tag that we put on your car, and that tells us who you're picking up, and that will get the child down sooner. But I just please ask you to please bear with us, give us 2 weeks. And we're going to do this as quickly as we can for arrival and dismissal for our car riders. But I know last year it took a week and we were in the gym. So give us 2 weeks, because we're going to be dismissing from the classrooms. If you have any other questions for me, please you have my email, ebell@livingstonisd.com. I will answer that email. You can always call the school. Our offices are open right now from 8 to 3:30, 936-328-2150. My extension is 5001. I will also refer back to this one pager that was put out by LISD and Dr. Hawkins' video last week and his letter last week. It has a lot of parent expectations for Lions Online, and you need to be aware of those expectations because you're going to be the stand-in for the teacher. So please make sure that you check on this. And then if you still have any more questions and it's a district question, we also have info@livingstonisd.com that will go to the appropriate person that can answer that question. We just look forward to seeing your kids, and I'm so excited and can't wait till they're back on campus. We are Creekside Strong, and we're ready for you.